Well, hello. Welcome to American Reversion. This is Steve Smith. Uh, this is the second part on Mondays. Welcome to everybody. Welcome to all the new people, both on YouTube and on Patreon. We love having you here. I ran long on that first segment as I did the time before, but there's a couple other things that we needed to get to, so we're going to get to them on this. If you'd like to support the channel, by the way, you can do so by going down below or going to Patreon. Our Patreon channel over there is patreon.com/American Reversion, or the link is down below. You can come join our private little club, our secret little club over there, on which I put everything that I put on YouTube, plus a bunch of other stuff, some interesting, some informational, some educational, and some just entertaining. So that's it. We're happy to have you here. I didn't say last time, but I should say that this is brought to you by The Reversion, my first book in the Stonemont series. It's about a collapse of America, kind of not the collapse that we're going through now, but a collapse that caused the need for a rebuilding of a place that people wanted to live. And if you love America and your mom and apple pie and stuff like that, I think you might like it. I also put the links to that down there with my other 4 books that come after that. I want to start this one off with here's some garbage Democrats funded as COVID relief. Who was it that used to get out the Golden Fleece Award? Some congressman years ago, and I haven't heard about it for a while. Rush used to cover it, but some congressman, or maybe senator. I know they're also congressmen, but people call representatives congressmen. They call senators senator. Used to come out with the Golden Fleece Awards and all the idiotic things that Congress funded. Like the sex life of Peruvian bats or something like that. I don't remember. And everybody would listen to them and shake their heads and think it was funny and talk about it at the office. But nobody ever got upset enough to do anything about it. It was just funny. Well, here's some that will give you something to share at the water cooler. And as is our purpose, as I've stated before, is to give you all information that you might not have seen before. I go through the news and pick out things that might be interesting, but to give you something you can share with the great mass of undecided in between that decides our elections. We always have one segment that is going to go Democrat no matter what. We always have one section that's going to go Republican no matter what. Okay, those are the partisans. Our elections are not won by the partisans for the most part. It's won by, it's decided. Absent of funny business, right? It's decided by that great mass in between that doesn't know which way they're going to go. Half of them don't know which way they're going to go, but the night before an election, you've probably heard that, right? You probably know people that say, the night before election, who are you going to vote for? I don't know. I haven't decided yet. And so that night they start watching political ads, and one of them just seems to like, I don't know, he's got better hair, or they smile better, or they say something like, "I believe in America," something like that, and it sways them. These people are idiots, but our country is run by idiots. See, and our method has to be, how do we sway the idiots? I put up something over on, it was by George Carlin, and I don't remember the exact quote right now, but it's over on Patreon if you'd like to watch it. And it's just something like, never underestimate the power of stupid people in great numbers. I think that's close enough. Well, that's the truth. And we have stupid people in great numbers right in the middle. And we need to be able to sway them if we're going to win this thing politically. If we don't win it politically, the other option is too horrible to consider, to be real honest. If it has to be considered, we did it once before. But it's no fun. We don't want that. Let's try to win it politically. And this is the ammo that we can use. I'll read off some things here that you can share with your friends who unfortunately fall into that category in the middle. Where's this come from? This comes from the Federalist. As the nation's debt has passed $30 trillion and inflation continues to skyrocket, federal funds are being used to fund four-star hotels and bailouts for deadbeat dads. No, certainly can't be. Steve Smith, you're reading lies. Well, no, I'm not. Let's see this. Did I ask you to pass this on to your friends? By the way, give me a thumbs up if you can. Make sure that you're subscribed and pass it on to your friends. We'd like you to be a part of this too. Leave a comment while I'm finding this, what I want to read. Okay. Now, it's got a cute little quote, a cute little video by Uncle Joe that if you go over on the Patreon, you'll be able to see, and it explains so much. As the nation's debt has passed $30 trillion and inflation continues to skyrocket, federal funds are being used to fund four-star hotels and bailouts for deadbeat dads. An Associated Press investigation discovered that the $1.9 trillion COVID relief, I'm making air quotes for those of you who are over folding laundry instead of watching me, COVID relief package Democrats rammed through Congress last March has resulted in all manner of pork barrel and wasteful spending programs. Surprise! Color me surprised, right? Not surprised. Most of which have very little to do with the coronavirus. Again, not surprised. And all of which should outrage taxpayers forced to fund this nonsense. Okay, let's see if this outrages anyone. Let's get down here. I'm going to go through. You don't care about that. Okay, among the projects federal dollars helped fund. Remember, jot these down. Share them with your undecided friends. $1 million to pay off overdue child support in St. Louis. I'm not sure that'll make much of a dent. A city memo states that owing child support stops some people from looking for work because the overdue payments are garnished from paychecks. The program would empower individuals by paying down a portion. Translation, St. Louis is bailing out deadbeat dads who have skipped out on their obligations to their children. A fine way to teach responsible parenting, yes. Number two. Appropriate, right? $300,000 from a museum in Worcester, I don't know how y'all pronounce it up there. I've heard it's different, like Gloucester. Worcester, Massachusetts, honoring a famous African-American bicycle rider from the turn of the last century. I'm sure there are any number of bicycle riders, African-American or otherwise, from the early 1900s that need honoring. $300,000 for that. $5 million for the 2022 World Games in Birmingham, which features niche sporting contests such as dance sport, korfball, I don't even know what that is, and flying disc. Flying disc. You know, I guess is that frisbee golf that you see all these hacky sack guys out playing in the parks? $2 million for number 4. $2 million to purchase a ski area in Pottawatomie County, Iowa. Well, everybody goes to Iowa to ski, don't they? Whoa, a pig. No offense to you all in Iowa. I've never met an Iowan I didn't like. I've said that many times throughout the years. Even your criminals are nice. I used to bring criminals back, crooks back from Iowa to put them in a big pokey here over in Missouri. Even the crooks were nice. Number 5, $6.6 million to replace irrigation systems at 2 golf courses in Colorado Springs. Well, you know, I can see a direct correlation to COVID in that. Number 6, $2.5 million to hire new parking enforcement officers in Washington, D.C. He says, as a district resident, I particularly appreciate this investment because if there's one thing Washington needs is more government bureaucrats levying arbitrary fines. Number 7, a $12 million renovation for a minor league baseball stadium in Dutchess County, New York. I'm sure that's important. Number 8, $5 million from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to pay off the debts for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, pay off the debts of the Edward M. Kennedy Institute for the U.S. Senate in Boston, a nonprofit established to honor the late senator that had struggled financially. Do you think that it might be struggling financially because nobody wants to go there because they know the truth of that idiot? Okay. Do you all remember, any of you with Rush back in the late 80s when he used to do that? It was in bad taste. I never liked it. I have to say that the Mary Jo Kopechne, you all remember about Kennedy leaving that girl in the car to drown by herself in the dark, and just look into it. And he went on to be so respected in the Senate. I think that says a lot. I think that gives us an exact measure of the Senate. Number 9, $15 million in New Jersey to fund upgrades to sweeten the state's bid to host the 2026 World Cup. Sweeten the state's bid. You know what that is? That's payoff money. Number 10, $53,000 to renovate City Hall in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Doesn't seem like much, but it also doesn't seem like it needs to come out of a COVID bill. 11, tens of millions of dollars for tourist marketing campaigns, as if people who felt uncomfortable traveling during COVID need any more incentive to take a much-needed vacation. That's right. Have you all ever had to be talked into taking a vacation? 12, this is a good one. $140 million to fund a 29-story, 800-room hotel in Broward County, Florida, that the county will own. The county will own? While a private company will manage, to get around a federal prohibition on using the COVID relief money for large capital projects. The county commissioners transferred the federal aid to the county's general fund, then transferred general fund dollars to the project. If anyone in the private sector tried a gimmick like this, he would get arrested for money laundering. That's exactly what it is. But it's all in a day's work for government entities maximizing the cash they can squeeze out of Washington. They're not squeezing it out of Washington. They're squeezing it out of you. Okay. I think that's enough. You guys get that. There's more to this, but I will put this up over on the Patreon site for your further edification and to share with your friends. Finally, Ketanji Brown Jackson, the brilliant jurist who even today is being voted on for her confirmation for the Supreme Court of the United States of America, and who we know will make it in because, you can't vote, no. It's a done deal. She is so brilliant that she couldn't say what a woman is because she's not a biologist. It makes you wonder that if that's her criteria on how to make judgments, how has she made it through life, right? How do I drive into my garage? I'm not a car. Well, she also has trouble understanding what rights are. Let's read about this for just a moment. Because rights, not to confuse the judge here, but rights are sometimes important in what used to be our country, right? Because we used to have some. Let's read about Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. President Joe Biden's Supreme Court nominee, Ketanji Brown Jackson, refused to say if she holds a position on whether individuals have natural rights. Really? Jackson refused to comment on her beliefs on natural rights in a post-hearing written question and answer from members of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Here's a tweet from Ed Whalen. He says, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson testifies, I do not hold a position on whether individuals possess natural rights. And in this, it says, here's a question. Okay. The theory that humans possess inherent or inalienable rights in the Declaration of Independence, it says, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Even though Joe Biden couldn't remember that, you know the thing, those are natural rights. We know our country was founded on natural rights. What that means is rights come from God. They're not made up and doled out by a government or anybody else. They emanate, originate, and are given us from God. So, the question to her, do you hold a position on whether individuals possess natural rights? Her response, I do not hold a position on whether individuals possess natural rights. Yes. And subsequent to the first was yes, what is your position? Her response, please see my response to question 16. I'll repeat her response to question 16. I do not hold a position on whether individuals possess natural rights. I'm sure that's not important for a justice of the Supreme Court, wouldn't you think? It used to be. But America is changing. The United States. America is a frame. I know it's a state of mind. It's a continent. The United States of America is changing. And one of the changes that enabled all of this is one, it changed from, I hadn't really intended to get into this, but I will. We got a few minutes. Was when it changed from the United States of America to the United States of America. You know what I mean by that? That the states, many of you do, for those of you who may not, it was the states, sovereign states, that came together and formed the United States, the corporate United States of America. But they were sovereign states, each a state of its own. They created the federal government, who then was represented in that name, the United States of America. That changed to the United States of America, meaning that the states then were under the federal government. They became subservient to it. This is a constitutional question that we could spend a lot of time talking about, and I won't. But maybe I will on some future video. Look it up yourself. It's fascinating, and that's where the change came. But however it came, and there are other things that caused it, our country has changed. It has changed from the way it was meant to be, should have been, and was for a great many years, with some things that it shouldn't have been. We all know that. I'm not going to, that stuff's been belabored. Okay. I'm not going to pander to people by going, but except for this or except for that. We all know it. In the most part, the country provided freedom to people. And in the cases that it didn't, it corrected it. Not everybody. There's elements that it didn't. But it now has evolved into a country where very few people have anything close to liberty or true freedom. We live in a managed slavery state. Interesting, right? I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to close it for the day. You all let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Please share it with your friends. Give us a thumbs up. If you want to support us, Go down there. You can come over and visit us on Patreon. Be a part of us over there. Become a member, and we love to have you over there. You all have a good day. Remember, America needs a reversion, or it's going to have something else, and it needs you to be a part of it. You all have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.